Ukraine launched overnight drone attacks on Russia's energy infrastructure in southern Volgograd region on Saturday. The region's governor Andrei Bocharov confirmed the strike, stating that the air defense forces of the Russian Defense Ministry repelled a large-scale drone attack on energy infrastructure facilities in Volgograd. Bocharov further said that residents of 4 districts in Volgograd region near the Balashevskaya power substation had been left without electricity as a result of the attack. Video footage released in social media shows the moment of the attack. The resident shooting the video runs in panic following the air strike on the region. Last night's attack on Volgograd came amid Russia's massive air raids that led to power cuts across most Ukraine. Emergency power outages were introduced in a number of Ukrainian regions because of these attacks. It should be noted that Ukraine has scaled up attacks on Russia's energy infrastructure in an effort to undermine Moscow's war efforts. These strikes have focused on oil refineries, fuel depots, gas facilities, and power generation sites deep inside Russian territory. Kiev argues that disrupting Russia's ability to produce and transport fuel directly reduces the military's capacity to sustain offensive operations, especially as armored vehicles, missile systems, and logistics chains rely heavily on refined oil products. The attacks have been carried out through a combination of long-range drones and missiles, many of which are developed domestically to bypass Western restrictions on striking targets inside Russia with supplied weapons. According to Ukrinain estimates, long-range stikes on energy facilities have decreased Russia's oil refining capacity by over 20%.
На нахуй. Куда-то прям жестко.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenski commented Friday on the situation in Pokrovsk as Ukraine's army fights to hold the key eastern city. Zelensky said Russia's goal is to occupy Pokrovsk as quickly as possible, and that the situation there is difficult. There were 220 attacks on Pokrovsk over 3 days. In the city itself, inside the town, according to our data, according to the military, there are 314 Russians. As for the formation on the outskirts pressing in this direction, you know that it is very large, he said. The approaching battle for Pokrovsk will be a critical moment for the future of Ukraine's Donetsk region. Russian and Ukrainian forces are so enmeshed there that in some cases they're vying for control of the same residential building, soldiers and analysts told the Associated Press. Russia's recent success in Pokrovsk is the result of nearly 2 years of grinding battles in which its forces advanced 39 kilometers, according to calculations by the US-based Institute for the Study of War. The operation progressed, meter by meter, until last month when Russian assault groups overcame worn-down Ukrainian defenses. In response, Ukraine deployed its elite units, launching a special operation last week to counter potential advances.
Ми маємо 25 тисяч втрат 200-х ворога за жовтень місяць, тільки завдяки БПЛА. З тут чітка цифра, тому що все це з відеопідтвердженням. Так як ви знаєте, у нас є програма, і ми даємо за відповідні дії з відеопідтвердженням, даємо додаткові бали. І тому тут чітка цифра. Плюс вважаємо без відеопідтверджень, плюс ще 2-3 тисячі. Це найбільша кількість втрат Росії з початку повномасштабної війни за один місяць.
На землі безпосередньо. Можливість оцю для дипломатії найближчим часом. Ну і взагалі, що ви очікуєте від зустрічі?
Спроб захопити Покровськ і створити умови для оточення Покровсько-Мирноградської агломерації.
Покровська ситуація, ну ви знаєте, ситуація вона складна. Ворог 5 числа і продовжує, але 5 числа було відповідно здійснював штурмові дії з залученням техніки. Він втратив техніку, але ціль номер 1 для ворога окупувати Покровськ як можна швидше. Ціль ця і залишається. Значить, це зрозуміло від кількості штурмів, було за 3 доби 220 штурмів Покровська. В місті знаходиться, в самому місті всередині знаходиться, по нашим даним, по даним військових, 314 русських. Ну, а яке угруповання на околицях і тисне в цьому напрямку, ви знаєте, що воно дуже велике.
Питання до всіх учасників наради. Про те, що ми просимо, щоб Україна мала гріпени попереднього класу Сі і Ді якомога. Тепер можна виходити.
As Russia's energy sector is struggling to meet domestic demand, authorities in the country's Far East Zabaykalsky region have complained to Kremlin about gasoline and diesel shortage. Governor Alexander Osipov sent a letter to Prime Minister Mikhail Mishustin and the Energy Ministry describing a severe gasoline shortage across the region. Zabaykalsky region, a sparsely populated area bordering Mongolia and China, has completely run out of 92-octane fuel for retail use. Only state vehicles such as police and emergency services have access to limited government reserves, according to the local outlet Chita. The letter also noted that fuel shortages now affect much of Russia, including regions with refineries. Independent Russian media have reported similar issues since August, when Ukraine began long-range attacks on oil refineries and transport infrastructure. In Zabaykalsky region, the major fuel chains Kors and BRK have number 92-octane fuel, and coupon rationing has been imposed for higher grades and diesel. Local officials said a train shipment of fuel had arrived in Chita and would soon be distributed to stations. Meanwhile, Denis Osipov from the Regional Economy Ministry dismissed the crisis as consumer panic and media exaggeration, saying the situation was stabilizing. Neither he nor federal officials have publicly linked the shortages to Ukrainian drone strikes, which have been hitting Russian energy facilities almost daily since July. Energy Minister Sergei Tsiviliov acknowledged limited shortages and rising prices but blamed seasonal demand and refinery maintenance rather than wartime damage. State and regional media have largely echoed this explanation, describing the issue as temporary. Still, complaints about soaring prices are spreading. Reports from Volgograd say fuel prices have risen about 15% since late October, while in Murmansk, analysts note that 92-octane gasoline has reached 86 rubles per liter, around 40% higher than in summer. One rare exception came from a local newspaper in the Kherson region, which admitted that drone strikes on western Russian refineries were a key cause of the current shortages, forcing fuel from Siberia to be redirected westward. According to the independent outlet Astra, up to 40% of Russia's refining capacity has been disrupted by Ukrainian attacks, potentially double Western estimates. Fuel shortages, rationing, and shutdowns have swept across most of Russia's 11 time zones, with the worst effects seen in poorer regions such as Buryatia, Dagestan, and the Far East, as well as in occupied Ukrainian territories like Luhansk and Crimea. Even in oil-rich central Siberia, motorists are waiting in kilometer-long queues, sparking criticism of government mismanagement and price gouging. According to Ukraine's estimates, Ukrainian long-range strikes on refineries inside Russia have reduced Moscow's oil refining capacity by 20%.